This is Tom.
Hi.
I probably am not in this. This is an experiment first of all because I'm using a real camera as opposed to a GoPro. What we're going to do is we're going to film and do another raffle bike. Probably the last one. What's the plan?
I don't know. We need to get some paint on it, I think.
I think we need to paint it, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna try and see if your idea will work on it.
Oh. So the idea with this raffle bike, so it's a Cervélo Caledonia 5. We've got the frame prepped and ready, and we're going to try this idea of like dripping.
Yep.
Dripping.
Or drizzle. Or
drizzling through a cup with some string to try and create some kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Just an elliptical pattern, I think.
That sounded good. Like some kind of elliptical pattern and seeing how the paint, how the paint would sort of move and hope. Well, it's all an experiment. We'll see what happens. It could work. It could look terrible. But yeah, we're gonna. The idea is to do another raffle bike, and then we're gonna raffle it off again for November and try and raise some money for them. So Tom runs a company called KUSTOMFLOW, which is just outside of Hull.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, 5 minutes away.
So we're very close to Hull. We painted a couple of bikes 2019, years ago.
Yeah.
It was an old, like a Focus's Alco and a Stomper, which is like a steel frame, pretty bike. If you don't know KUSTOMFLOW, go and check him out on social media and you'll see some of the work he's done. But it's a really cool little booth. The whole idea that we're doing is effectively like dripping paint on a frame and trying to see if it will spin in the cup. Yep. So we need to test it first because the problem is like the consistency of the paint. Yeah,
it needs to be running enough that it's gonna come out the cup and actually create a constant line and not just drip. So it's trying to get the right consistency to the paint.
But he's the expert.
Or the viscosity.
Viscosity?
That's a posh word.
That's a good word, that.
We can't just use watercolours from Tesco's.
So these are specific paints for painting frames, right?
They're all different paints. We've got a full cupboard of old paints, which are solvent-based coats. Which
let's use this one.
No, let's not, because
let's use this one.
They're too runny. They're too runny.
This one?
Yes, you can use them.
This one? Is it that colour?
No, that's just the packaging.
Oh, that's a shame. So mixing paint is a bit of an art in itself, right?
Yeah, there's formulas that you can get. So you usually you'll get a colour chip. They have a code or a number. We enter that onto a colour mix system, and it'll give you a formula. Which I've got a small mixing system with all the different tinters which go into making a solid colour.
Like what you do when you buy paint at B&Q.
So basically,
posher.
all these tins of paint in here are from an actual auto body paint shop where we've just gone in with the colour code and asked them, and they've produced them. But these start costing quite a lot of money to mix up, like a certain quantity. So the idea of a small mixing system is that on bikes you don't really need a lot of paint, so you can just mix up a tiny amount, so it reduces the waste.
We've raided the spares cupboard. Tom's pushed me away from the fluoro pink.
Yeah, it's too I don't know, like transparent. I think it'll be too running, it'll just go everywhere over the frame. We need the paint to be like fairly thick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So we're thinking greens. I'm kind of digging greens. This grey one's quite nice as well, actually. So we're kind of thinking maybe sort of greens and stuff on the bike, but we're just going to test it to see if the idea will work using a spare frame.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're kind of back to square one. In that case, we just throw shit at it.
Yes, that'll be the next step, won't it? So we'll just mask off this, let's just give it a little bit of a demo.
This is a job to do. Masking takes a lot of time, right?
Yeah, it does. I'm doing this like super fast, but when we do the bike, it will be all measured so that all the lines, everything lines up.
You're a perfectionist.
Gotta be.
That was easy.
It was.
It smells good.
Yeah, it smells lovely. We're definitely having to use this one. We can't use this one because it's too old.
It's too old. Really nice colour.
Yeah, it'll change as well once it gets some clear coat and lacquer on it.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing is it'll lay quite heavy on the frame when it's on the top, so it'll create like quite a bit of texture to it. But we'll see.
Which some paint people don't like, right?
No, people like them, like the surfaces to be super smooth. So it's a case of putting a few layers of lacquer down and sanding them in between.
So basically the plan is to create a sling for a cup. Oh, it works.
They'll work. And then you bring it up to a point and let go, and it should
start to circle, right?
Yeah. But we've got the special underneath the release valve.
Really?
So,
don't do it now. Don't do it now.
Yeah.
We don't want green here.
Yeah. I will put a bit more paint in, I think, because I think it's going to need the weight off it.
We're lying the frame down on the floor, as you can see with our demo frame. And we're going to effectively hold the cup and hang it and let the paint swirl around and see how it goes. It's going to look, these kind of things are always an experiment, and that's why I like doing it.
Yeah. It's also as well, we've got to find the centre point.
Oh, you've even got a little hook for it.
Yeah. Well, that's in the paint booth anyway.
It's perfectly placed though.
I think so.
I think it's got to be some distance because you need to get the swing around it, right? What if we... Oh God.
Sorry, boss.
What if we do that?
I think that would work.
Because it's going to spiral inwards, right?
Yeah, it'll spiral into the middle of the frame, which might actually work.
I think that could work.
Because we can stop the paint once it hits the middle of the front triangle.
I don't know how I did that. Test number 1.
It's too thick.
It's too thick, isn't it?
Yeah. Too thick.
First lesson has failed. First test has failed because the paint is too thick. So I think the hole is probably the right side, but the paint's too thick, right? So we found the paint is too thick to start with. We're just gonna thin it.
Yep.
And try again. But the idea works.
The trouble is I don't want to make it too runny, I think, 'cause then it'll just dribble down the frame too much, I think. It won't stick in place on the frame.
Very fine line, right?
Yeah. Fine margins. Well, it's making a pattern. Oh, that does look alright. Does the hole need to be bigger, maybe?
Why is it so addictive to watch? It's quite nice that it's thinner to the outside.
Yeah.
And then pulls in. I think that's kind of cool.
But you see what I mean about it kind of like running?
Yeah. So the tape definitely works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Does help with it.
So, yeah, the paint's a bit too thick, it's starting to run off.
Thin or thick?
Thin, probably.
Lower the pot, less dots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. You hypnotised.
Yep. I think it's working.
I think that's working really well. The interesting bit is how is it going to be in the middle, right?
Yeah.
When it all gets a bit closer, but it's keeping the line still.
But it's laying on the bike frame quite thick, so that's going to be a bit of a pain when it comes to putting the clear coat on the frame.
We've done our test bike, happy with the paint consistency. We're going to have to redo paint consistency for the second colour. We're going to get one colour down on our frame.
You're insisting on using the pink paint, which isn't going to be great to work with because it's a fluorescent. We only get one shot at this. You can't wipe it off and start again.
Alarmingly well. Oh, the swing. It looks brilliant. So we're going to effectively do the same again on the other side as well, but we're going to stick with this like greeny, bluey, tealy, turquoisey, I don't even know what to call the colour.
Celeste.
Celeste.
That's the one.
Celeste.
So
we're going to keep with this colour and then mix it with pink as well. So effectively do the same idea with two colours on both sides. Quite simple, but I think really effective. Cooking it.
Yep, just to dry the paint so that we don't, when we handle it, it doesn't get smudged. Because there's a lot of thick paint on there.
How long does that take to do?
It should only take about 10 minutes if that.
Oh, fine. The oven says, is it nice and warm in there?
Yeah, step in.
Oh, it is nice and warm. So the plan now is to effectively do the green on the opposite side. Just check the thick bits.
Yeah, it's quite thick. But
there's a bit of a depth to it.
Yeah, be hard to see. It'll smooth out with some lacquer.
Colour number 2.
Colour number 2 going down.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
It's quite bright, this one.
Get it in the slingshot. It's very drippy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've tested it.
It's not quite right.
It's not quite right, but it seems to roughly do what we want.
This could ruin it, but
it's not going to ruin it, it's only going to enhance it.
I think it'll run though, that's the problem.
You're not sure?
Not sure.
So basically we've figured out that the fluorescent pigments doesn't drip how we need it to drip. So we're going to go back to the drawing board with a second colour option, which we don't know what. We're going to go and raid the cupboard and try and figure something out. Fluoro orange.
No, we're not. Stay away from the fluorescent colour.
This is an art, isn't it? Trying to get the right consistency.
Yeah.
What do you think that is? Too thick?
I don't know. It's hard to tell, isn't it? It's not going to create the lines we was hoping for.
No. Creating lots of Jackson Pollocks, though.
Yeah.
Consistency done. So the only bit with this is it's a trial and error with the consistency, but once it's done, the actual process is quite simple, which is quite satisfying actually.
Telly magenta.
Telly magenta. Slightly darker, but it will work.
We hope it will. not camera shy, is she?
We're done for now.
For now.
We're done for now. It's basically, I now need to leave you to do your magic, don't I?
Yeah. Let it dry off fully and then we'll get some lacquer on it and see how it goes.
Got to put some logos on it.
Lacquer first, then the logos.
You're going to go for a walk now, aren't you?
Don't say the walk, man.
You're going to go for a...
You go for a walk?
We basically got the frame done to as far as we can go. We just need all the paint to settle and dry.
Yeah, secure.
And once that's all done, Tommy's going to clear coat logos, and then I'm going to appear back here at some point and we'll see the final thing.
Yeah.
Are you excited by it?
I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go once we start putting some lacquer on it.
It's an experiment.
Yeah, it is. It's very experimental.
I think the ideas worked better than I thought it would, to be honest. I didn't think it wouldn't work. I just didn't think it would work how it has worked, and I actually quite like how it's worked. Which is, I guess, the problem from a painting expert is that the paint is clumping and it's thick.
Yeah, that's the main problem. There's a lot of paint on there in certain areas.
In certain areas, you mean that area?
Yeah.
But as I've already said, I'm going to mention it several times. This frame is going to be raffled off to raise funds for Movember, and I might even already put the link in the description. So if you do want to get an entry in, it'll be £10 anywhere in the world. You can win this frame, and the winner is picked at random. So start donating because it is November. It makes sense to get those donations in.
Good.
We'll see you in a while.
See you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.